All right, we should be live.
Waiting.
Are we live? Are we good?
You tell me.
Let's find out. Are we live?
Hi, we're all live here. How are you?
Hold on.
Here we go. Oh, I just got the notification.
Did you get the notification?
Got
We
it.
are live. Hey, sweet. Okay. Yeah, guys, hi. This is my first time doing a live stream like this in the living room, so this has been an interesting thing to figure out. So first thing that we're going to say we're going to improve for future iterations of Gun Gamers Productions is figuring this out better ahead of time. I won't be coming home from a week in Vermont next time, hopefully.
I put it on the multimedia department, which is not me and Jim. So
Certainly not.
Yeah, that's my bad. Kyle is not here because he didn't want to drive to Rochester, and unfortunately we tried to get him in via Discord, and again, because I'm figuring this out at the last minute due to other life stuff,
life happens.
He's going to be monitoring the chat, so if you have a question for Kyle, put it in the live chat. He'll be getting back to you and answering that, and I'm also monitoring the chat as best I can, so we'll be trying to get with you guys. But to start with, I'm Eric.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Lutz.
And what were you guys doing at Overture?
I was the faction commander. I almost said platoon leader. It's a habit. I was the faction commander for Primeval or Tan Team.
And I was the faction commander for Ouroboros or Green Team, as we're sporting on our chests here.
Yeah, and I'm Eric. I was one of the guys who was helping to run the thing. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
That's about the size of who we are. Kyle, like I said, is monitoring the chat. And first of all, I want to start this off with a big thank you to everybody who came out to play at Overture. That was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I mean, beyond growing pains, I think it went off as a big success for a first run. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with how it went for a first run.
Yeah.
You know, I obviously, we sent out the player surveys and asked people for their feedback. I've talked to a lot of players since then. We've talked to you guys. Obviously, with any airsoft game, things go certain ways, and you think, oh, we can do this better next time. Players have good ideas to change things up next time, and then you learn lessons of things that you were doing. But overall, I mean, player feedback seemed remarkably positive.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm very happy with that. What beer you guys drinking, Jake Taylor at? Jake Taylor getting right to the important questions.
We're on Southern Tier Brewing tonight.
Yeah.
Jim brought over the mixed pack. It's great.
So this is a new hazy smooth IPA.
This is 8 days a week. It says it's infinitely drinkable, so that's concerning.
Get ready.
And Eric's got just a normal IPA on deck.
Yeah, just the regular Southern Tier IPA. So first things first, I do want to talk about the overall timeline of events for Overture and how those things went and how things could be more refined next time, and then also what went well that we thought worked really well.
Okay.
The first thing obviously is most of us arrived to the Airbnb on Friday, and we had a field walk around and everything. But one of the first things that I was impressed with, actually, from the player end, is how many people showed up on time.
Yeah. I was surprised in a great way.
So do you want to start day of, or do you want to go pre-planning, or just want to jump right into it?
I mean, we can talk about the pre-planning. I feel like the pre-planning was definitely something that is something we can talk about, because one thing I want to do in the future, we had several requests about whether or not we're going to continue using Facebook as the primary method for pre-planning. We had some requests to try to move to Discord. We had some requests to do more via email. I think more via email, in terms of, did you guys email out rosters? I wasn't in on your guys' stuff.
I went through my platoon leads a lot, and most of them had a contact with most guys, and anyone that they couldn't get to through their squad leaders, they were sending emails to those people, so we at least touched base with everyone.
We had that same basic chain of command. All the big messages actually went through Facebook, but after that, everything was filtered right down through emails.
I'll tell you an issue we found just talking to players is anyone that falls into millennial or slightly older, like Gen X, is like, oh God, Facebook, what's Discord? And anyone that's younger millennial to Gen Z is like, why Facebook? Use Discord. So we're running into an issue of people's preferred medium, and we're trying to come up with a good way of how to get everyone in, but where everyone understands what the technology is. And
well, I think having the big updates via email, that was something that we really tried to do. We did have a couple. One thing I want to make a note to for players, when you type your email in to Eventbrite, please make sure your email is free of typos. Yeah. We did have some, or make sure your email is set up to receive emails. We did have some people who showed up the day of and had received no emails, even though like on the roster we had emails for them, but then those emails had typos. But we were directly exporting our roster emails from Eventbrite. So that means when the emails were put in, they did not have the correct spelling and they had typos. Yikes. So please double check the spelling on your email address when you are putting your contact information in.
Banger Airsoft mentions the Gun Gamer Discord. That was a mistake. That's why it got nuked. Okay, we're never opening that again. It was horrible. The fact that we were around drinking one night and we're like, this should never have happened, and just deleted it. Like,
well, but it might make sense in the future to try to do a more Gun Gamers Production specific Discord and maybe have that Discord be invite only, like with a ticket purchase.
Sure.
Because honestly, at that point, we could really control like the numbers, keep the shit posting down, keep the moderation pretty on top of it. We could, I mean, to be honest, it might almost make sense, and this is something to consider, to do a Discord server per game because they are free. Yeah. And then we could just send out invites to team Discord servers with a registration. So if we wanted to move into, but at that point, I would want to have everyone on the same page as much as possible. So the Discord would almost be like a tertiary.
Yeah.
Because I think Facebook primary is easy for a lot of people. Email as the big update is really ultimately the primary. Facebook planning is, because you're going to email out op boards, email out rosters, email out that stuff. I think emailing more stuff directly is going to be the biggest way to improve communication, and then using Facebook and Discord as secondary or tertiary, depending on how the groups want to run it, is going to be the way forward from now on. I think that having those greater amount of options does open things up better, and then hopefully we can communicate enough via email that there shouldn't be any reason for someone to show up day of and say, I don't know what platoon squad I'm in.
Yeah.
So that at the very least, I think, is one of the big things too that we can do for pre-event coordination. But other than that, I mean, your guys' op boards looked incredible.
Yeah. Anyone that was in on my op board, which would have been squad leads and up, already that I apologize profusely, and I will never use Zoom again. I had only used it in professional settings where we had licenses and didn't realize there was a 40-minute timeout. So we had like a 20-minute discussion before we kicked it live. And 20 minutes into my op board, it's just like, your Zoom session's ending.
Yeah. So no more Zoom.
No, we will not use Zoom. We'll use probably Discord for the op board next time.
So Ouroboros did a slightly different approach to it. I actually recorded myself briefing my PowerPoint op order, which I think went pretty good, and nobody had any questions on it, so we're going to assume that went perfectly.
So yeah, you did. So you recorded it and then sent it down the chain, right? And like posted it on your page.
I actually posted it to everybody. The whole company got it.
See, So I would love to hear you guys talk in the chat what you'd prefer. My method was to bring squad leaders and platoon leaders in and brief them, and then have them distribute there, and they could answer questions on the squad and platoon level, which just kept it. I'll touch on this real quick. I'm sure it'll come up when we're talking game. Which just chain of command keeps it more organized. I love that when I'm doing command. Is like, I was responsible for passing this information on to my 3 platoon leaders. Each of them was responsible for passing it on to 3 squad leaders. And those squad leads can disseminate down to like anywhere from 8 to 12 guys.
Yeah.
Which is pretty manageable, as opposed to me being like, here's an op board, 100 people, please give me your feedback all at once. Which is a mess, right?
Yeah, it might be easier to try to compartmentalize that a bit and then get questions, from squads and platoons versus 100 individuals.
So that was the reasoning for why I did that. If anyone was wondering why isn't Matt in here talking to all of us? It was just, what do you call it? Span of control. The whole concept is,
Never heard of that.
Oh, well, it was a fire term. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Good.
In terms of other pre-planning concerns, was there anything else that you guys wanted to bring up specifically about pre-planning? Because other than like the couple of requests for different modes of communication, it did seem like most people were pretty happy with the level of pre-planning.
I will say, from my player side, I felt 90%, maybe 95% of my guys showed up with the correct amount of gear and the correct kit. Like, not too much, not too little, ready to go. Obviously, we had a few heat cats throughout the day on both sides, but it was also hot as hell. It's going to happen. But yeah, no, I felt like, I don't know if that's on us. I would love to say it was. Throughout the whole day, Jim and I were saying how great we were. So I think it was probably us.
There's lots of pats in the bag. Lots of pats for sure. I know from my perspective, all of the casualties were from tan side. So I think we did pretty great. I know a couple guys overpacked, and they were kind of paying through it throughout the day, but I didn't find anybody underpacked or underwhelmed.
I actually want to do one of the next Gun Gamers videos I want to do. Now, now that we're done with Overture, I'm hoping that I'll be able to like get some energy back to get videos regular, but it's just been so much. But I want to do a video on packing for an Overture style event, because I think there were some people there who were a little bit not confused, but this is the first time we've done this, so I think some people were like trying to figure out what the methodology for packing for this could look like, and I think having some example loadouts from like our side would be a good thing to have for the future.
I'll tell you, here, read some of those, because I've fallen behind. Mine wasn't populating. As far as the packing, I'll tell you, it was a learning curve for me at least. I don't think I got a chance to talk to you much about it. But setting the pacing and the packing for a 12-hour game was an interesting challenge, kind of, because we've done plenty of day games that are, 6-8 hours max, and we've done our Mills and West there 40 hours. But nailing that middle zone of just what's the right amount and not too much and not too little was interesting as I was putting my gear together and talking to guys about what to bring.
I had that same experience as I was putting my kit together. I had it together. I put it aside. I'm like, okay, great. And then I talked to you, and you're like, you brought a what?
Well, you guys also have to carry fire extinguishers.
That fire extinguisher threw a lot of...
My spine still hasn't recovered.
I felt it more. We won't get into it. But yeah, that was a surprise thing right there. But yeah, in general, though, I went through at least 3 different loadouts before I landed on my final one. But I think went pretty well, except for this fire extinguisher.
Stupid fire extinguisher.
So loadout preparation was definitely a big consideration for a lot of people. And also, I want to credit a lot of our players. I didn't see anybody not have enough water. And throughout the day, we were really trying to make sure that those water cans were topped up. Which at this point, do we just want to segue into day of start?
Yeah, you want to start with first phase and we'll go from there? Or?
Well, I want to talk about the check-in and chrono procedure real quick.
I absolutely would, because that's a big growing pain area for us.
So that's the thing. I actually think one of the biggest growing pains on our end was we did start late. And we started late by about 45 minutes, and part of that was on us, and part of that was also on waiting too much for players.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did that we're going to change for next time is we had PLs run chrono. We thought, hey, we have all these PLs, we have all these guys, they can run chrono. That'll give them that'll give them plenty of time to get with people, and it'll give us plenty of chrono lines. So chrono line, did back up a little bit at one point because I think eventually you just have 200 people going through chrono, and then we had 5 chrono stations open. So I want to have more chrono stations open in the future. We're gonna buy more dedicated Gun Gamers Productions chronos as well. And B, we're not gonna have PLs do chrono.
By the end of it, not having PLs would be better, but by the end we had 7 chronos set up, and then things filtered out great. It was quick.
Yeah.
But we got to start there.
Yeah, I think in the future we're going to shoot to have at least 7 to 8 chronos open at once, and those are not going to be our PLs because what happened was our PLs were running chrono. Well, then our PLs need to get their gear on and get ready, and we literally went from chronos open to stage briefing. And then briefing, Kyle and I stepped off the briefing stage at 10:32, practically right on schedule, because we started the briefing a little bit late because people were filtering in from the parking lot. I punished those people by throwing out all the free Elite Force swag while they were still walking up. But the thing that I think we can do better in the future is have those PLs have the time to get with their guys, do the pre-planning, and have their gear ready before that point. Because then PLs had to rush to get ready to try to step off at 11. And granted, Tan Team, you guys were in place and ready to start the game at like 11:15.
Yeah, poor Ben's car shows up with this pretty SUV, and we just massacred the inside of it. There's like BBs flying everywhere, loaded mags thrown on gear. We're like, just go! And
I can imagine the circus that
it was
happened
great.
in the back of that car.
The two biggest failures I had from that moment on a personal level were because I was packing so quick to throw my gear on. I forgot my peanut M&Ms, and I forgot my Marbrets, and I started that game like, I have none of my essentials.
So Reaper 6 Airsoft in the chat says, from my perspective... So Reaper 6 Airsoft in the chat says, from my perspective, I thought check-in and chrono went smoothly. And overall, they did. I just think that...
It depends on when you showed up. So if you came right at the beginning when there were like 3 or 4 lines, and it was only 10 guys in line, very smooth. If you showed up at the end when there were like 20 guys in line, but we had like 7 chronos, pretty smooth. If you showed up in the middle before the like extra 3 of us got over there, just chaos. A line 50 long, and we're like, oh god.
Yeah.
So like,
one thing I was impressed with super quick was the laser check.
Yeah.
The laser check, and we got some mixed feedback on the laser check. Some people really, really liked it, and we had a couple of people who really didn't, and I'm just gonna say flat out, as long as we're holding the insurance, the laser check isn't going anywhere. I just am not going to introduce eye safety risks.
So I see Pay Me No Mind says, in my experience, having chrono butt up against briefing makes it hard. I kind of see where you're coming from, but something I love with it is it encourages everyone to get chrono earlier. We even saw it there was people, like, just naturally the way the game goes. It's a social event. Everyone's going to shoot the shit in the parking lot and talk, but we got, like, exponentially more people as the time for chrono ran out, which is what makes it harder to get people through. If when we had 10...
Well, and the time for chrono didn't really run out. We were still running people through chrono after briefing. We did reopen chrono. But I think that what we're going to do for that in the future is we're just going to have to, like, after briefing, and then that extra half hour where people are supposed to get with their PLs and start moving out, I think we're going to have, chrono trickle through there. But from there, we're just going to have players, like, if they're not ready by that point, they showed up late and they didn't get their gear ready on time. This is why Green Team started so late. You guys only stepped off at like 11:45. And at that point, a lot of it wasn't us. Like, I was sitting at the chrono tent just looking at 3 platoons of green just standing out. And I'm like, what, does nobody want to play Airsoft? Like, come on.
Tan was ready.
That's
we
true.
were prepared.
That's what it was. Nobody wanted to play Airsoft.
I had a very nice building.
We had little bits. It was always waiting on one player per platoon almost. We just weren't ready as a whole, and so our guys didn't want to go anywhere yet. It was like, well, we got like Freddy's going to the bathroom, and this guy just, I don't know, he forgot like a pistol in his car. Or
One note that I've got from the chat here is a couple of people had their chronos set at 3.2s when it should have been 2.8s. That's going to be something that we're going to...
I heard chat about that, but... I don't know which chronos. It maybe it happened. I mean, you guys, I had heard some chat about that in like the feedback and stuff. I know I checked mine. I know my personal chronos one we set for 4.0s, and like we taped it, and like
we're that was for the marksman.
Yeah.
Well, in the future, we're gonna have dedicated Gun Gamers Productions chronos. So ultimately, those are gonna get set to 2.8s and left there, unless we have one dedicated for marksman. So. If there were issues with the 3.2s and the 2.8s settings, I didn't see it, but I didn't inspect every chrono. But from now on, we're gonna have dedicated Gun Gamers Productions chronos that we like buy per game, and those are gonna be set to 2.8s ahead of time. That's just gonna be how we run that from now on.
Good news though, I mean, I'm sure it happened because it happens at every Airsoft game, but I didn't hear many complaints of like overshooting or hey, that guy's gun's shooting super hot. So I don't think.
Well, generally speaking, generally speaking, I think chrono went well. But I think in the future, just trying to move along here.
Yeah, go.
I do think in the future, we are just going to have to not wait for some players though.
Yeah.
Because Green Team delayed the step off a lot because we were waiting for some people who were like taking a while, and ultimately that level of delay kind of caused like, you know, as soon as green team stepped like toward the field boundary, they were in contact. Like literally, they were in the parking lot.
You guys were antsy. We're just come on.
Those were my LPOPs, and you should know better.
I did. That's why I'm like, just send a recon team.
Just
nothing will happen.
I had some assumptions about what you would do. Yeah.
Did you read my briefing? Is that what?
Yeah.
Laid out exactly what we're gonna do.
Well, and that's something else that that we're gonna. I think we need to try to do in the future is avoid a little bit more metagaming. I think that, you know, I think some people were trying to metagame a little bit, and that's going to be something that we need to eliminate.
Interesting. Go. Do your thing.
I was gonna say on the metagaming point when I said that, like, yeah, he read his briefing. It's true. He did read my briefing.
Also, I feel like if you're watching this AAR stream, you're gonna feel like this game was a disaster because we keep bringing up like critical points. But ultimately, like, we're putting on this product, so we really want it to be the best thing it can be. So I'm just trying to say that.
Which is why we shared our briefings, and we're like, "All right, you're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
If you
this is what I did. Is what you
if
did."
you like the formatting, you're welcome.
That was Matt.
That was me.
If you like the content,
What was it?
all right.
But yeah, no. So, oh god, start talking. I had a thing, and then I let Jim talk ahead of me, and I forgot.
Well, you're talking about metagaming, and I don't really. It didn't really feel like that was a thing from our perspective, anyway.
Yeah.
Mainly because we were always moving into unknown areas.
I remember. Okay. So going into it, just like full disclosure, based on the player basis that we had going between teams, Jim's team, like Orbaro, had a lot more. We have a group. We have squads of 10 coming together who play together all the time. We have a squad of 8. We have a squad of 15, and then mine was like, I have one squad of 7, and then everyone else is like, I'm one guy. I'm 2 guys coming together, and like there was a lot less of cohesion. So. And then I had heard a lot more about night vision and stuff like that. And so we were worried that my guys would be kind of
You're talking about the balance. Right?
Yeah, the balance. So we were worried that Tan would be a little unbalanced. So we were just trying to make sure that first fight would be like a solid hit together. Mm-hmm. And my guys outperformed so well. I loved it. I was like, I'm sitting there, I tell the PLs, I'm like, we got to hold for a half hour, guys. That's it. Half hour. Hour and a half. I'm like, we should... This has been a while.
Well, and this is something else I want to talk about from a game flow perspective. Is one of the big criticisms of the overall game plan I saw is one I share, and it's where Tan was falling back and defending all the time. If you recall from the design doc, that kind of wasn't how that was supposed to go.
Right.
And by the way, we do come up with design docs for like our game plans. You know, obviously no plan survives contact with airsofters, but we did want to have it where it was more rotational of if X, then Y. And that kind of didn't really happen the way we wanted it to from our end. So for me as a game master and as like as a designer, I want to try to enforce more of that consequential type of game evolution in the future rather than like having one group falling back all the time.
So to your point there, I think it did go that way. So, I know from the lower level it didn't really feel like that, but from the higher level, every time we took Green took an objective, it felt like, from my perspective, that you let us do
it. Also, if you weren't, I know I passed this on to the PLs, and it may not have gotten down to everyone on Tan, but I think like at least 3 different objectives after we pulled out and moved to the next one. It was because we were leaving artillery or C4 to blow them up as they came up. And we got people every time. So
we never learned.
It was worth it.
I never even heard about it until like, what are you talking about?
when we left Umbral City, that first city.
I will say it did seem like a lot of players really appreciated the whole like concept with the like actual physical artillery that like wasn't like you guys earned that through objectives throughout the day was the big thing rather than it just being like, oh, we have to make something happen. Like, I was collaborating with you on, like, hey, when do you want this? Where do you want this? Mm-hmm. And, you know, that was something you guys were calling in. But in the future, I do want to do different color smoke for the artillery, because I think people were getting confused.
Yeah, a lot of people were calling ceasefire and fires.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
And it's just because sport smoke looks like a fire.
So
we need colors.
Back to the original point, though.
Yeah, go.
Like, the overall game design, I think, did go with the if-then statement, except that it's just the if was Green's not making it. So narrative-wise, I think we sold it a lot so that both sides felt like they were winning. It was like, hey, we actually took our objective, and you fell back and killed more of the enemy in terms of like, hey, we can't really hold this because of our ammo.
Yeah.
So let's just set up a little booby trap and blow them all up. That's a realistic tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And overall, it seemed like, everyone enjoyed the game plan, but I think the two main... So, yeah, overall game plan, like, we sent out that survey. It was generally, like, 4s and 5s across the board for most of that stuff, which I consider pretty good. Thank you, guys. But two big criticisms of the game plan... Well, three. I mean, I'd already talked about the one. But the two other things I want to talk about from game day are the ammo supply,
Okay.
and the tempo, the operational tempo. Because the operational tempo, I'm going to start with. Because holy shit, this was one of the most violent games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a lot of aggression, and still I still had people that were like, yeah, I wish I could have gotten into more firefights. I'm like, the shooting never stopped. Like, I want you guys to know, there was supposed to be a period where the shooting just kind of mostly chilled out for like a little bit, let everyone get a little food in
Every
them.
2 hours.
And it
was
kept
supposed
going.
to be that way.
Well, and the big thing that, was an initial, like, concept of the game was, okay, we'll basically do 2 platoons on, 1 platoon off, and then we can rotate platoons through that. So 2 platoons are in a major operational phase, 1 platoon's in a more defensive stand-down posture. It'll give people some organic breaks. But every platoon wanted to be violent. Yeah. Every platoon wanted to go attack, so they all did that and gassed themselves out, and then everybody wanted to break at the same time.
Yeah.
Most. I give it 95%. Once that break came up, there was those ones that still chose violence, and it made break time very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, I loved getting hearing on the radio like, why is there contact at our CP right now? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess this is an airsoft game.
I was literally
Never shut up. It was legal.
I was on the admin channel, and I was just yelling for Jim. And I wasn't mad for, like, my players. I was mad that I didn't get to eat my MRE ever. And I was just like, I was about to open it, and we got shot at, and I'm like, Jim, I just want to eat. I was like, I'm happy everyone's having a great time, but I'm so hungry.
Yeah. But
forgot your M&Ms. Forgot your cigarettes. Not allowed to eat.
I can't even smoke to chill out.
But that is something I think can be, because we did have a very high operational tempo, a lot of violence, and it did gas some people out. So I think having a little bit more rotation for like who's doing violence when, and then maybe they can get a little bit of a minute. I think that's gonna be something we're gonna work on for the future.
Definitely much more structured. Like, we had the idea there, but every time we stopped anywhere, it was always almost within eye shot of each other. We were just like, yeah, I can see you, you can see me. I don't know what's going on here. Second those MREs start popping, I were like, nope.
Yeah. And then for the ammo supply. So this I think was probably the most contentious aspect of the game. Was we had a few people who really felt like the ammo supply was way too little. We had a few people who felt like the ammo supply was too much. And what I noticed is people who thought the ammo supply were too little were on the predominantly attacking side. And a few people who thought the ammo supply were too much were on the defending. And I'm only saying I know this because of talking to these people directly. Your feedback in the survey is anonymous. I don't know who sent what, but I did talk to people directly, and this is kind of the vibe I'm getting. So what I'm thinking we might want to do in the future, and this is actually why people wonder why we don't have the ammo amounts listed in our rule set. The reason is because we want to be able to tailor them to the games for design purposes. Yep. And I think in the future, if we do another attack and defense style game, we might make the ammo supply more asymmetrical, or even the team numbers more asymmetrical.
I mean, you can leave it up for whatever design you want. For this one specifically, I think that the biggest one I got back was the LMGs. And the did anybody bring an MMG?
Yeah, we had 2. We had
more ammo for MGs.
I will tell you
that's a big thing.
The mantra you heard at our fob whenever ammo came in would just be, I would yell, ammo's here, feed the LMGs, and it would echo down the line. And then LMGs and MMGs would come running.
And that's something that I think
okay.
from our
Yeah, that's
end
good.
we were also figuring out as the day went on, because we've done limited ammo games, issued ammo games before, but this was our first time doing it with these numbers and this style of format. So I will say that I think is a growing pain of practice for us, of figuring out the best way to do ammo resupply. And I think that we initially tried to do like those Frago ammo resupplies where you would find a can and you would call it in. But I still want to have those. I still want to have those be a thing that people can do.
But it's more of like a bonus.
Yeah, more of a bonus rather than the primary method. And I think what we're going to do, is continue feeding chain of command with more organized ammo as well, like more bagged rather than just bottles. And I think that will...
Sorry, I'm just really stuck on Cherico complaining that he was too useful.
Yeah.
All right, just keep moving.
Feed the LMGs merch when. You know what? Hey, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. So I did want to just address those two things real quick, because I know that those are two of the big improvements we got from people, and we're going to continue to put into action some of those implementations. But now that we've got all the criticism out of the way, what about all the cool shit that happened?
Oh, let's talk about cool shit.
Yeah, there you go. So, my favorite starting was literally I came in.
Actually, wait a minute. Hold on.
Fuck me.
Before we do the cool shit, should we give something away?
Ooh, give something away.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, we did put in...
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Hold it up.
We did put in everyone who was on our roster, and I put in people who transferred tickets, or at least tried to. We did put in everyone on our roster into a random wheel of names, which I hope you'll be able to
It's
see.
amazing.
What is
Yeah,
it?
it's so thin. It's just a bunch of colors. It's like 200 entries all on here. So if you look, you might be able to see it's that whole wheel. We put everyone on there from the roster. I'm gonna try.
A really nice holster. Thank you. Is it for a hater?
That's for a hater.
Oh shit! Hold on. Is the stream still going?
Well, it's behind for me, so we'll see in a second. Hold on.
oh, the stream might have
just
paused.
froze.
Just
Frozen right
paused.
here.
You killed it.
No, the stream paused.
Reset.
Hold on. Can I? All right. Did that work?
Hold on. It's got a delay, Eric.
Shit! No. Do you
Someone
still
said,
have audio?
video broke.
What about audio? Do we still have audio?
Stand by.
All right, real quick. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna do a. All right.
Audio's good.
Audio's good. Well, then I'm gonna add.
We're fixing it. Hold on.
I'm gonna add a video input, and I'm gonna make that video input the window for the. There we go.
Hey.
All right. Do we have this?
There's
on the
a
screen?
delay. Why do you never listen to me?
Do we have this picture on the delayed feed?
All right. So I'm gonna spin this wheel.
It's just us. It's just our
And this person is going
this.
to win a mid-ride hater holster from
Hey.
Engage Tactical, aka Matt, sitting right next to me.
From
The winner is James Whedon.
James Whedon.
James
Come on down.
Whedon has won the mid-ride hater holster. I have your billing address and your email like a creeper, so I'm going to mail that to you tomorrow.
Send it.
So if you're watching,
the mail.
I will be mailing that to you. So James Whedon has won the mid-ride hater holster, and we'll have another We'll have another raffle giveaway in a bit, but we got to do these as we
Congratulations, James Whedon.
This is so wonderful.
You're
All
welcome
right,
for getting my creation.
Such a high quality.
So there we go.
Make us work. Get my
Shit. All right, hold on. Why will this not work? Why will it not work?
classic gun gamers.
Dude, right, this is a disaster.
Matt, bring up an amusing anecdote while Eric figures out our technical difficulties.
Hold on, I'm going to try to...
I know you're not good at small
Did you
talk,
did
but-
you know that our first artillery strike killed a platoon worth of people?
Tell me about it.
It was great.
Where was it?
The first one actually got called early. Our spotter got a little jumpy on the first one.
Alright.
He blew it, and since buildings don't count, he did kill 2 friendlies, but he got like several of yours.
Where was this?
Shit, it would be southeast corner of town. One of the bigger
Umbral
buildings.
City still?
Yeah, you know the one that's got like
Okay.
the half height first floor?
No, I'm very
It was
familiar,
that one.
yeah.
Oh, come on. OBS just crashed.
Oh, boys.
No, come on.
Just bring a new one out.
Old boy system.
I'm peeing so.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Hurry.
Okay.
Jesus.
Classic gun game.
What the hell? Remove. And we are blacked out. So I'm going to deactivate that and activate it.
Is the camera turned off? Did it lose power somehow?
Well, it's a webcam and shouldn't lose power.
Yeah, no, it's totally just not doing the thing. Hold on. Dude, come on. This is so annoying.
Good news is, this is what we told them we had to work on.
All right.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm going to...
We know it's a black screen. We're trying to fix the camera, man.
Oh, this is so annoying. All right, we're going. Okay, we should be going.
All right, so last time on Gun Gamers, Chuck Norris was just about to rescue the hostage that was taken.
All right, let's see if we are back. Hey, we're back. How do we sound? Does everyone have our... Do we have audio?
Put your hand out.
Do we have audio? Are we good? All right, sweet. Holy crap. I am so sorry about this, guys. But James Whedon. So now let's talk about
James Whedon.
Yeah, James Whedon won the hater holster thing. We'll do another raffle in 5 minutes.
Sure.
Fuck it,
5
we'll
minutes.
do another raffle in 5 minutes.
Everyone message your friends. Get them back on the stream. We're live.
All right, now let's talk about the awesome stuff that happened.
Awesome shit. It was in the media. All right. So, awesome stuff. All right, so I was talking about that sweet-ass explosion.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
explosions.
just give you a quick anecdote one, because that really is what got the blood flowing, got everyone pumped, right? So the big one, as a commander in Airsoft, boy, this is something I had to just keep repeating. They did great with it, but I'm like, okay, guys, we gotta fall back, but don't just like run. I'm like, we're gonna pull back, but don't just like turn a platoon at a time and be like, fall back! I'm like, they'll just murk us. Do not turn around, back up. But like, as we're going, you guys reached that building before we fully started pulling from the city. Mm-hmm. Your boys got fast. And my spotter was like, oh shit. And he called it in and blew the shit out of that first one. And he took 2 of our guys with it. But he took out a bunch of yours. And then the second one, I went over and I was like, good job. But you killed some of ours, so maybe slow it down. Next one, he's like, okay. He waited. Got him. And then I got everyone's tired. Not like tired, but we got to that next checkpoint. We moved to Mission Village. Mission Village.
Yeah.
So we get in there. We get set up for a second. I'm like, fill your water, rehydrate. Awesome fight. And I just hear over admin. They're like, hey, you got like a platoonish worth of guys. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I know it feels like we lost the city, but no, we left the city and blew up 30 people. Worth it.
Win. High fives all around.
Yes.
So we had a similar one. Actually, we had a couple of them.
Are you talking about where
We
you blew
had,
up?
yeah, the things that we blew up. So, I know, I remember this, but I did not want to take the responsibility. So Eric over here came up. He said, you have an artillery strike waiting for you. Here's the key. Do you want to turn it?
Well, you said where you wanted to put it first.
Yeah, it's like once we had it all established, he came up with this magical box that had all the fun things about, launching artillery strike. I'm like, we have to have a player to this. We can't. You can't give this to me. So I'm like, who wants to do it? And the guy was just. And then you hear an explosion and a lot of off in the distance.
Was that the one at the airport?
Yeah.
No, literally, Jim. So it goes off and everyone looks because they're like, what the fuck was it? And I just go, shit. And I just go, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. And then, he got like 15 of us in one hit. It was good. It was...
Yeah, that was one of them. The other one was the preliminary bombardment for that last phase.
Yeah, it was stressful. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, you only got 6 with that one.
Yes.
Yeah, but
But
that's
I can
okay.
Actually, the 6 you got, you hurt their feelings. It was all keg. You blew up the entire keg squad. They were all hanging out right next to that building, and I was like, "Oh."
But it was so good though.
It was good.
So yeah, a little bit of backstory on this. We had earned one of the artillery things by doing one of the fragos. So we grabbed this swat of money, and we got it out in this plane, and that earned us an artillery strike for the next phase. So I talked with the platoon commanders. We put a TRP or a rally point right on where we wanted to go. I was like, that's the preliminary bombardment point. He called it in. It went bakoosh, and then he sent the guys in. It worked great.
Also, just props to Eric. I think you laid most. No, Kyle laid some. To Eric and Kyle on laying the explosives. I had no clue they were there. You missed a few. The only one I saw was because I saw Eric come into town and I had some admin shit I had to shoot by.
Well,
him.
I literally
And he just walks in and just quietly crouches down. It's dark, but I see a red light. I'm like, "What you doing?" He goes, "Shut up, don't worry about it." It's like putting it under a building. I'm like, "All right." I'm like, I just gotta forget I saw that.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta tell you, between planning the artillery and bringing water and ammo and everything, I logged 40,000 steps almost on Saturday.
Eric actually,
We should get you an assistant.
he actually lost 30 pounds. He's not well. It's a lot. One of our discussions after the game was adding more white cell for the next time.
Yes. Yeah.
Just so that Eric and Kyle could do more admin, answering the radios, organizing it, and then sending someone else out rather than them doing that with you had 1.5 helpers.
Well, we had Steve and Katie also helping out, but Katie's primary responsibility at that point was medic.
Right, so you didn't want to bog her down. That's why I'm saying 1.5, right?
Yeah.
She's capable, but you didn't want to be like, let's take my medical person and get her stuck doing ammo runs.
Yeah.
An hour mission to
Right.
find a platoon first.
Yeah, I think. And we were supposed to have another set of white cell hands, but Ian was supposed to be at the game. Classic Ian, right? He gets some
Food
ridiculous illness the day he's supposed to go do something.
Always. He's always sick. Also, Banger Airsoft, I'm not mad at you. It was a good kill. Good job, buddy. It was great.
Just a point of improvement.
I would say
It was a net gain. You killed more of them. It's fine.
I would say one of my favorite things to hear about was actually how Sisu and Fromm and a couple of those guys got completely bushwhacked all around just to deliver that cash to the bank at one point. And had to
That's what they were doing?
Yeah.
Jim, I lost contact with Fromm and Sisu for 2+ hours.
I know. I saw them more than you did.
It was to the point that I was calling on admin going, has anyone seen Eric Fromm? Because I'm worried. Oh, it was good.
You guys keep telling stories. I'm going to go get the next.
Green's
raffle
perspective
prize
from
in
this.
5 minutes.
It's just
Also, I think your thing is in here, Lutz.
Oh, yeah, it is. Cool, great.
for those of you who can't see, he's got a brown package he picked out of nowhere.
USPS fucking failed me, so
we're
there's
just gonna-
some
okay.
goodies in there for me, too.
see.
But
Should I back up?
no, we're going to talk about good
Okay.
stuff. All right,
Just gonna ignore that.
an Ouroboros great moment that you guys actually had.
From your perspective, my great moment?
No, from a command appreciates command perspective.
Okay, yeah.
So when we bailed on the airport to move up the hill, I stayed behind to blow the explosives with maybe squad and a half.
What a brave man.
And our plan was to sit in the darkness of the trees. Hope you were stupid enough to move in.
yours.
Yeah, fine, it's great. To move into the tree line, and we were gonna.
also somebody's.
All right, give it to him. He'll throw it over there.
For Connor.
That's for Connor. Okay. But
This is a bad time.
we do have another thing here.
All right, he's gonna just do his raffle. Do the raffle, then I'll talk. Do not turn the fucking computer this time.
I will not turn the computer. You guys saw that we have the random thing. I promise you we're using it. This is an N-Gage Tactical
You want me to hold it up?
G-Gar.
Ooh.
So this is a really cool chest rig designed with N-Gage Tactical and Gun Gamers collaborating to create what we think is one of the coolest chest rigs for airsoft.
Props to
use.
Corey.
3 mag tops.
I had some input, but Corey came up with the main idea. It's good.
All right, so we're gonna spin for the N-Gage
spin
Tactical
right here.
G-Gar. And the person
Lutz,
who
Matt
won
Lutz.
that is... You're not even entered.
Oh, okay.
You're staff. You can't win.
As well it should be.
Michael Lupoli.
Michael
Lupoli has won the N-Gage Tactical G-Guard.
Congratulations.
Write that down.
Super.
All right, while he's writing that down, let me finish my compliment of green.
Yeah.
So we were waiting in the tree line in the dark. We're like, they'll come through. It'll be like our third chance of them coming through. We blow them up and we shoot them.
It's gonna work great. It worked 2 times already.
We hear words. We hear some talking. We hear some feet, and someone literally goes, "Is that tan or green?" I go, I can't tell at this point. I go, "You got to go check." 2 guys stand up, and immediately we just get massacred. And I was like, Jim and his flanks, classic.
Oh, that must have been that one platoon I sent that
they
way.
did great. They really did. I got the shit shot out of me.
That was first
It was
platoon.
good. Yeah.
I was keeping track.
Well done.
All right.
So another great moment. I'm just going to do real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
So in the
And
initial,
Magic Hat 98, yes, winners will be contacted via email, and also because I'm a creeper and I have access to their billing and shipping addresses from Eventbrite, even if they never get back to me, you cannot escape your raffle
It's
prize.
coming.
This is a terrible system. Anyway, so the energy I really loved, especially at Umbral City.
That
So
was good, man.
we were, this must have been the last 15 minutes. We were doing this fight for like a long time. Everybody was black on ammo or red on ammo. And
Yeah.
we can't take this thing like this. So after we got the initial ammo resupplies, everybody re-upped, and like almost the second they got re-upped, they're like, "We're gonna take this city." It was like something happened, and there was a lot of rabble going on, but it echoed throughout the whole entire green line. It was just.
I noticed it got louder as we were pulling out.
It was. There was some fire that got started there, and we just ran into it. So the energy there was amazing.
Also, some of your guys got up close, by the way. I was in the middle of Umbral doing my best, like, middle of the platoons commanding, and got just zipped in the neck. Someone was watching it.
Got a little sporty.
Yeah, I got a little sporty.
Yeah, I will say I was very impressed with the energy level from players overall throughout the day. I mean, there were a lot of people who ran themselves into the ground and then were still like, "No, we want to go do stuff."
They're my favorite, too. I literally talked about these guys on the admin channel because they made me laugh my ass off. I had 2 guys wearing full plate carriers. I think they had plates, everything. They come back, they're like, from Fromm's Lost Platoon, I'm pretty sure, but they came back a little earlier. And they're like, "No, we're good. We don't need rest. We're good to go. Give us a mission." I'm like, "All right, give me like 10 minutes. Let me work out a plan." I come back. These 2 dudes are out. Completely asleep. And I'm like... I was like having a toddler. This is very similar behavior. You're like, "I'm not tired." I was like, "It's fine. Take a rest. It's allowed."
Okay, then that was always allowed.
Oh, it was so good.
I also really liked, again, just the level of, like, just commitment to the engagements. And people were always looking for missions. There didn't seem to be a lot of people who were, like, just trying to go and cause chaos on their own. And even if they were going to cause chaos on their own, it was still, like, for a reason.
The worst I had was...
Mainly your fault.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I shut it down to, like, we'll bring all the platoons in, we'll set up a defensive line, and we'll send out 2 to 4 squads max.
We were exhausted the whole day.
They were
The
supposed
whole
to just...
day.
A little harassment.
They did. And we had to react as a platoon strength every time. You can't meet one fire team with another fire team. You gotta wipe that out.
Also, perception on the player level versus admin is just so funny for me. I had multiple times I'd had those harassing squads come back, and they felt defeated, and they're like, "We couldn't get in, like, they just took us out." I'm like, they haven't sat down in 5 hours. Like, you're doing great. like, your goal was not to kill them all. Your goal was to just ruin their day and not let them have snacks, and you did it. Like,
Good to see you. You guys, great job.
stuff.
Overall, I was very impressed with the whole chain of command structure. We were reading the feedback that we were getting from the surveys, and any of, like, the complaints about chain of command we got were from the squad leader level.
Yeah.
Well, the only level that we really have control over as staff
Was Platoon.
platoon and faction. Squad leaders were like basically, whoever volunteers
the
the job from a group, or if we have like rando squads, it'll be people who say that they have experience. We might try to put more of our guys with some of the rando squads.
Sprinklings.
Yeah, like sprinklings of some like trusted members of Gun Gamers to be like, hey, if we've got like a rando squad, we'll try to put one of our guys at least attached to them so that we can make sure they're still in the loop. But other than that, I mean, it seemed like Chain of Command ran extremely well.
I don't know. I think that would be a really great introduction if we took like one of our really high level guys like that, and it's a squad leader for a bunch of completely random guys that have never been to anything like this.
I would love to do something below platoon leader. I volunteer for Please only be responsible for like 10 people. That'd be amazing.
But that is definitely something that no other company at all does, is guest squad leaders like that.
Also,
Well, that's the other thing too, is I think guest squad leader is a good. I don't know if these guys can even hear me right
no,
now.
it's coming in.
But I think guest squad leader is a good position for like if we get like someone really cool who wants to come to our game, we just be like, hey, we'll comp your ticket, but you got to put some work in, and we'll make him just lead a rando squad.
Ooh,
They'll do that.
So I do have to point out a moment in the game when we all kind of met on an admin level.
What the fuck is this thing?
Do you want to do your raffle and then I'll talk about it?
No, I'll do the raffle in another couple
You
minutes. I just
seem
wanted to get
really
it ready.
dedicated.
So Jim and I did a little parlay and met between lines just before dusk, kind of a little bit past the halfway point, trying to figure out just how's everyone feeling, especially being our first one. Like, where's morale? Or people,
Hour what, like 9?
Yeah, something like that. 7 or 8, but yeah.
No, 8. No, that makes sense.
Before sunset. Eric was over there, so we stopped over and I'm like, how's it going? He's like, oh, pretty good. My guys are in good mood. I'm like, my guys are pretty good. They're a little bummed from the constant harassing fire that was going on at that point, but like, they're doing okay. And I asked, or Jim I think asked, he goes, who do you think's winning? I'm like, my guys are definitely winning. Like, they all feel like they're winning. And Jim goes, my guys all feel like they're winning. And I'm like, this is going great. If everyone thinks they're winning, we're all winning.
I actually want to talk about this because I feel like this is something that is what we want to focus on for our games in terms of like winning and losing. Like, we don't do points in our games.
No.
We try to do consequential gameplay. Like, hey, you took this Frago, your faction gets this thing. Like, you guys took a Frago, we gave you an artillery strike. You guys took a Frago, we gave you a mobile medical power-up. That's something that I think we want to focus on more as consequential gameplay rather than points and winning gameplay, because I don't view our games as like a sporting event where we're trying to determine what team won. Our games are like many other games, an evolving gameplay experience where next year, based on what happened at this year's Overture, I want to have the entire scenario informed by how this year left off. Mm-hmm. And then that'll obviously determine, who's doing what. Like, maybe Primeval will be trying to be on the attack, or maybe there will be something entirely different.
I have to bring something up on camera from the chat.
Yeah.
They're talking about how Sisu went on this wide flank, and that's Sisu's MO. It is. But, so this is one of the great parts where we could come together as friends and manage Sisu. So we couldn't get her to come back. She's like, I regarded a lot of our squads like rabid dogs. Like, they just go on the attack and they do it efficiently, but you cannot recall. So Sisu could not come back. I got on the horn and I asked my good buddy Jim, I go, hey, got a squad that's not returning. Do you think you could do me a favor? He's like, oh, absolutely. So I gave him their exact grid square. And Jim went and just did that with 2 platoons. Sisu came back. Game's moving on. Don't worry, she already knows I told her I murdered her.
I know it was you, Matt.
I was like, you were answering me on comms. It was game over for you.
So Loki brings up the very relevant point of when the next one is.
Ooh.
And I want to get into that after I do the Amped Airsoft raffle.
Now you have
Thank
to stay.
you to Amped Airsoft.
Got his knife out again. Just
Hey, I want to actually take a second and talk about Amped Airsoft because, like, they have been one of our big supporters for all this.
Yes.
Amped has actually been feeding us people to talk to about future game locations. Amped has been like a big help for us with this. They came out and vended for our players. They did night vision rentals. I know.
Oh yeah, how did people feel about the night vision rentals? If you did, comment. I would love to hear.
That's going to be a whole bigger topic.
No, I just want comments.
Oh, okay.
Comments.
All right,
yeah,
sure, go.
fine.
So yeah, Amped was a big help for this game, and they gave us an entire rental package. Not rental package, excuse me, raffle package. And
Just losing his
Raffle
mind.
this raffle package includes a balance charger,
Oh shit.
a
really starting off
set
with
of
these.
KWA K120 mid caps,
Guys, I have an idea. I know where this is going.
a free NVG rental at the next Gun Gamers event, which honestly is the best part of this thing to win.
Okay.
Yeah, that is definitely.
That is awesome.
An Opsman weapon-mounted light,
Shit, open it. I want to see. Show it.
Sorry.
and
We got to price
Elite
this right.
Force lithium polymer battery,
This one is lime green.
a bag of BLS 3.2 biodegradable BBs,
I need more space, man.
Hold on.
Hold on.
a black Condor chest rig,
You can wear that on either team.
Most utilized.
one more thing in here, or is that it? And an Amped Airsoft sticker, very important, very sexy, and
This thing is pouches.
the last another Amped Airsoft sticker, excuse me.
Stickers.
And the last thing that's in here, I'm not going to show on YouTube stream, but I'll give you a hint. It is related to the mid caps and the weapon mounted light. So
It's
it a
something
weapon?
to mount the light to.
yes, it is
it a
a
foregrip?
light mounting accessory. It is meant for mounting lights and putting BBs into.
It's
a
several rail areas to put.
So basically,
Rail
Amped
air?
Airsoft.
How much of this thing is this?
If he shows a picture of it, then they demonetize it.
Well, it's not even that. It might. But anyway, so
What is
Amped
it?
Airsoft is basically having us raffle off an entire player package. So if you have a friend who wants to try Airsoft, or if you were looking for some new gear, this is basically an entire package so you can outfit somebody, including an NVG
no,
rental.
don't
which,
share that with your
Yeah,
friend.
no,
That's
I was
for
gonna-
you.
I was going to say.
That's for you.
So
Nice.
we are going to draw for this one. All right.
The
You guys
thing's
ready?
Going in the mag.
This is for the Amped Airsoft full player package. The winner is no fucking way.
God,
Oh my
Nick
God.
Goddamn Fox.
The winner is Nick Fox.
Nick Fox, show up to the fucking game.
Yeah, well, he did
Yeah,
show
he
up
did
to the
come to
game.
this, that's
Yeah.
true.
So the
Yeah,
winner
he's
is
done
Nick
that.
Fox, who is actually
He's gonna have Gen 3 nuts.
yeah, he is gonna have a free night vision rental. So the winner is Nick Fox. So Nick Fox, if you have any friends who wanted to try playing this game, then you have no excuse not to bring them out. You have a fully functional player package.
It's amazing.
This is the best talking
Give
point
me
so far.
one. Yeah. So Nick Fox won the entire Amped player package.
Eric's gonna have to take a few minutes to yell about
He's
this.
got to manage this.
No. I'm just gonna put this into my phone with everything else. I mean, this one's nice because he's Rochester based,
he
so
bought
I don't.
his ticket on the last day.
Everyone who bought a ticket was entered, man. What do you want me to tell you?
Look how well this turned out.
Amazing.
All right.
The last day, guys. That's when you're gonna do
Now,
it.
I do want to wrap this up because we are
Yes.
coming up on an hour. But the important question that Loki asked is when's the next one?
I don't know about that.
Sweating.
And here's the deal. Overture, I'm willing to call a major success.
Yeah.
First of all, it seems like everyone had a really good time. You know, maybe there were one or two at a bad time that I didn't get to interact with, but everyone I talked to said they had a great time. So we are going to do this again. We are going to do more. We want to host 3 or 4 events next year and try to scale this up into a larger promotion. And our first game that we're looking at for next year is going to be a winter game.
Oh, shit. Welcome to the Northeast.
Yeah, we're looking at late January. We are looking at doing a winter game. It is going to be in the southern tier of New York State, potentially. I will iron out and hash out more exact details as they are available. I don't want to, count any chickens before they hatch, but we are looking at late January in the southern tier in New York State. as a winter game that we are going to try to host with our with a similar format to Overture, tuned to winter play. We want to challenge people now with different environments. We want to challenge people with different weather conditions, and we want to host, quite frankly, when a lot of other people don't really host in the Northeast.
Yeah. Also, all my Southern friends, please come. I want to watch it. It's gonna be great.
It's going
Connor,
to be the opposite
Dave,
of heat cats
yeah.
all over the place. People
Cold
are going to be
cats.
frozen.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
Canteens are going to be ice.
Ooh, had that happen once. That was an exciting adventure.
You're going to have to warm it up with
I'm
things
very
that generate heat.
excited to see how a winter game goes. It's
Yeah.
going to be very challenging for people's equipment, but on top of the winter game next year, we will be going back to skirmish. So we will be going back to skirmish. There will not be an Overture Part 2 because Overture is a very particular title that was chosen for a very particular reason.
Underture.
And yeah, well, there will be something, but we will be going back to skirmish. It will be a potential continuation or tie-in to the primeval Ouroboros conflict.
We will probably, though, be swapping up leaders.
Yes.
We're going to rotate through leadership. So it's not going to be a thing where, like, oh, Jim and I are always commanders and the PLs are...
Every single time.
we rotate in that.
Pick your favorite.
Yep.
Eric's got to play next time because he would not shut up about how he couldn't play this time. So we're sure going to put him
Gotta
in.
let him off the leash. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very excited about the future of Gun Gamers Productions. We're off to a great start, I think.
Pre-hypothermia.
I can't see my hands. That's a Milsim West meme. Shit, we didn't make it through the video without Milsim West references.
That's so close.
Also, bad shout out to Milsim West. They've been awesome, like really supportive throughout this whole thing too.
Speaking of, someone was just asking a Gun Gamers in general question of if we're going to Balcar. Of
Yeah.
course
yeah.
we're going. It's in our
Oh, yeah.
backyard.
Yeah,
I think
I
we've got
wanted
like-
to host at that AO.
I think we have near a platoon worth of keg going. So yes,
Yeah.
we will be there
Yep.
for sure.
All right. Unless anyone in the chat has any major pressing questions, it's getting hot in this apartment
So
because I had to turn off the air conditioning so we wouldn't get noise in this.
Everybody hates
It's
it.
like 80 outside.
Yeah. So if anyone has any last minute pressing questions, I think we're gonna take a couple of questions and then call this a successful after action report.
All right. What kind of light banner do we want to do while we're
Sustain
waiting for questions?
GGP is what Cherry Cop Gaming, aka Peter Cherico,
Cherico.
said.
Sustain
Okay,
GOP.
fine. Sustain Cherico as my
Links to
pathfinder.
videos and photos, Scott McLeod says. So we will have videos and photos from Camera Ninja and Pixel Journalism, respectively. Those guys are working on that stuff. I'm told that photos might be going up in another week or so. Videos is going to be just as those get edited. I will have more videos on the Gun Gamers channel, probably not related directly to Overture, but I do want to do more about packing for these types of games.
If you guys have videos, though, post them up in, like, the faction pages or the Primeval page or Gun Gamers General Interest, whatever. Post up your pictures and videos. Love to see your stuff.
For
too.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
William Rohr asks, Eric, sexy calendar when? I don't know, dude. Sub to the OnlyFans.
I wore silkies to Bad Blood for camping, and no one was happy, so I will not be in the calendar.
But it is part of the calendar.
It is part of the calendar. I'm December.
Sorry, man.
No one wants December.
Feed the LMG merch, Davey Rando says. Okay, well, we'll
I'm
get on
super.
that.
I'm gonna get the store running tonight. Literally, I'm gonna make this. I have free time. It's fine.
You're a meme creator.
I
You're-
love
you're
it.
good with
It's
this.
good.
Yeah.
Jake Taylor just says it's cool that you guys are hosting. Sounds like success. Game on, boys.
What-
Thank you.
1-6 for best PL. Which team? Which is
Good question.
Is it Fromm or whoever he had? I don't know who was first.
I had Joe.
Joe was first. It's
Remember Joe?
Fromm. It's Fromm.
And then
Fromm. He was
we've
fisting
got
the whole time.
Davey Rando. Is there a public Gun Gamers Discord? No, there is not.
Never.
We might do event-specific Discords as a tertiary form of communication. That is something Chirico offered to help with. Chirico, I'll probably be hitting you up as that becomes more relevant. And for anyone else, if we've got any, I'll take one more question, and then we're going to call this an after-action report. One more question, if anyone's got one.
Who
Go.
was your favorite team, Eric?
What's your favorite commander?
Who is my favorite team?
Yeah. Was it Ouroboros or was it Primeval?
I named both of them after songs from metal bands I love, so...
So choose.
Yeah. Choose your favorite baby.
I would say if I was to choose my favorite baby, it would probably be Ouroboros because that was one of the songs that got me into Gojira.
People don't even want Ouroboros because they can't pronounce it. So.
RF Drift has a good question. He says, any games planned for the Southwest? Our goal for planning games further out in the regional United States of like Southwest, Southeast, and all that is we are right now going to be more Northeast focused. We want to expand further down the East Coast later next year. But as of right now, it's just about logistics of where we can get our staff, where we can get our props, where we can get all of our stuff, you know, who we have relationships with that we can even contact for facility rentals. Right now, we're focusing in this footprint of the Northeast United States. Next year, we want to move further down the East Coast if possible. And then the year after that, if we can, you know, if we start scaling up and being like, hey, we're doing a good job, players are having a lot of fun, we're able to logistically make it work, I do want to start expanding out and start running over more of the United States. But that is going to be something that is just about figuring out logistics. Speaking of logistics, we do want to allow camping in the future.
Yes.
I know people were asking about camping at Skirmish for this one. We didn't have it in our rental agreement with Skirmish, and we didn't have it as a layer of our insurance. We figured for this one, we just wanted to focus on the game day, iron that out, make sure we had that 100% before we added that layer of complexity and cost. Now I'm pretty confident. I do want to start adding camping for future games. Probably won't do that for the winter game, though, just because I don't want to have to manage people who get hypothermia because they didn't bring a proper winter sleeping setup.
Dying in the woods.
Oh, and the final count for the BB guessing contest. The winner of the BB guessing contest was not you. Fuck you.
It was technically me.
Nope. It was John Tamora. He had the closest guess. We went through almost exactly half the BBs that we bought. It was about 550,000.
Which is exactly what I guessed.
Yeah.
Nailed it. But apparently, staff can't win. Fine. I'm really proud of myself.
Can you imagine if you wanted another thing?
No.
Your ego would be just...
It's just too much ego.
So, anyway, that we're going to call the live action or live after action stream. I would call this a successful game. Sorry about the technical difficulties with the stream.
A less successful stream, but that's fine.
Well, you know, people got free stuff, so that's fine.
So fine, we'll edit out the chaos in the middle and no one will ever know.
Yeah, right? But thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to everyone who came to Overture. We can't wait to see you at our future games. We can't wait to see more of where we can take this, and we can't wait to see how many cool new formats and things we can experiment with as time goes on, because I don't just want to do Overture format games forever.
That's fair.
There are other things we want to do. We want to get weird. We want to get wild, maybe even a little wacky. But I'm looking forward to taking this journey with you guys. So, once again, I've been Eric.
Jim?
Lots.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a great night, and until next time.